I have you with me, Natasha Akide. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
So there's a lot that's happened in the last week. You have also been a huge part of the protest that's gone across Nigeria. We've heard also news about protesters being attacked, and we even had reported deaths in a few states. First of all, hearing this news now, does this make you feel like you've won the battle?
Partially. I would say partially. Like you earlier said, a lot of lives been lost. Rest in peace, Jimo, from Oyo State. What happens to these guys? They lost their life while peacefully protesting for what we as the youth are demanding. We need justice for these guys. What happens to the SARS officials that shot them? What happens? They're being redeployed into other units of the police force. But we need justice for everyone that has lost their lives in this battle.
What was different with this time? Because this SARS movement is about 3 years old. What was different about this time that made it so organic, that made people say, you know what, this time enough is enough? What was it for you that was different?
For me, my tired is tired. And I also know for a fact that every Nigerian youth's tired is tired. We've been on and about this since 2017. We've been hearing there's certain procedures to go through as to how SARS can be banned. No reports yet. And in 2020, our tired is tired. I'm not free to go out to Lekki because I'm scared for my life. It's not about being a public figure. I am actually scared for my life. These guys don't look at anybody's face. I am scared for my life. So we have gotten to the point where our tired is tired. There's an extent to which you can stretch a rubber band. We've gotten to that climax. We've gotten to limits. And we're speaking, and we're demanding, and we're requesting. So for me, it's a partial win.
Because, I mean, that was literally the goal for a lot of people, ending the SARS as a unit.
Ending SARS and reforming the police force.
Yes. So how do we start that conversation now? Because there's a belief now that, okay, this goal has been met. A lot of people are, I mean, I even saw on Twitter, congratulations, Nigeria is trending, or Nigerians is trending. People are excited that, okay, we've won this battle. Do you get a sense that this might cool things off a little bit, or how do you sustain the momentum now?
For me, I'm a bit uncertain about this win. I am uncertain about this win. I really, really am uncertain about this win. It just doesn't seem right. For whatever reason, it just doesn't seem right. It just doesn't.
There's always a talk, you know, about, you know, people in entertainment or public figures being a part of conversations like this. And there are times when people are called out. We saw that happen a lot in the past week where certain public figures were called out for not maybe speaking up early enough or not speaking up enough.
Or not speaking up
or not speaking up at all. Do you feel that there's a duty in times like this? Because this movement was going to happen in spite of anybody who wanted to join or not. Do you feel like people like you have a duty to be a part of things like this? And do you think it helps in any way?
Well, I think it's everyone's duty. This is something that affects everybody, directly or indirectly. I feel it's everyone's duty. These celebrities, you have the youth of Nigeria. We buy your stuff, we stream your music. Do you understand? We make you who you are. So when it comes to times like this, it's a collective effort from everybody, celebrity, public figure, the average Nigerian. All hands has to be on deck.
So
because we can't.
We're seeing images now of Jimo Ishak, who was killed in Ogbomosho,
Oyo State.
In Oyo State. Yesterday, he had gone out to sort of join the protest, but he was an innocent bystander, and he was killed pretty much by the police. And we don't know,
which is very sad.
Yes.
In 2020, in the 21st century, this is very sad. I shed tears whenever I see all of these videos. It is very sad. These people are not coming back. We need to understand they're dead and they are gone. What happens? We need justice for these guys. We actually do need justice for these guys.
So how do we sustain this conversation now? Because I get you, and I know that from what I've seen already on social media, there's a sigh of relief, which is good. Because, I mean, one battle is won. But it's just one of so many. Because the reform of the police, I mean, the police conversation didn't start today with SARS. We've always known, I mean, everybody who's been at the checkpoints at any point in their lives knows what could happen in places like that, you know. And you're talking about justice now. There's Jimo Ishak. There's so many other people who have died in the cause, which has brought us to this point. The killing, the shooting in Ugeli on Saturday last week, which started all of this, you know. How do we find these people? How do we sustain the conversation? There's people in SARS is going to be redeployed now, we're hearing. The personnel in there. in the same police organization. How do we now start having this conversation? Because the government has said, oh, there's no leader of this movement. Who do we talk to? Do we need a leader?
Speak to us. There's no face to this peaceful protest. There's the face of the Nigerian youth. It's everybody speaking all at once. It's everybody that is tired, really. So it's everyone speaking. There really isn't no face at all. Everyone's face is the face.
Yeah. Do you have any personal stories that you've encountered with the police or someone you know?
Yes, I do have a terrible experience with SARS. I do have.
When was this?
Terrible. This was way back 2018, a year before last year. This was way back 2018. They arrested my delivery guy. He came to where I was. He brought my ring lights, and they held him. I had to go downstairs, and I said, okay, what's happening? He said, oh, he's with 2 ATM cards. 2 ATM cards, same surname. This is for his older brother, and this is for him. Why not let him go? Oh, he's resisting arrest. And they handcuffed this guy. They drove off with him. I tried to get him back. I took a taxi. It was a dreadful experience. And they made him sleep at Rupoko. That's our head office in Port Harcourt City, Rupoko. The next day, I went to my lawyer. They said, you come and start writing statements. Write this. And they're telling you what to write. They told me what to write. And I felt really helpless because my lawyer couldn't even do anything. It's like we are above the law. That is the type of idea they give to us. We are above the law. You can't do anything. We are the ones in charge. And I listened, and I just was writing everything. We were saying, oh, sit on the floor. He told me to sit on the floor, and I did. With my 200 and how many K followers, I sat on the floor. For me, I was scared for my life, and I was scared for my delivery guy's life. I just wanted everybody to live there and live there safe. It was not... The experience was very terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah. You had to pay to get him out?
No, I did not pay to get him out because I think their head at some point came so late that day. But then he was willing to hear from me, and I went there, explained the whole situation, explained everything. He's a delivery guy. This is older brother. His older brother joined me alongside the lawyer. Everybody is right statement, sit on the floor, that. And he reasoned with us and said, oh, everybody can go. We don't have to pay for anything. But initially, these SARS officials were trying to extort me. They were trying to extort me, drove me to the ATM. It was a whole lot that happens with them. And if I have to go through the whole story, this will take a long time.
The conversation of profiling is what has been the biggest issue with SARS as a whole, as a unit. You know, they profile you based on how you dress, what kind of haircut you have, what phones you're carrying, if you're carrying a laptop. And there's this, first of all, is that justified? Because let's not pretend that there's no problem with crime in Nigeria. There is crime. But is profiling the answer, you think? How do they now draw that line to decide who's who?
The song India Ariel sang, I Am Not My Hair. I don't think anybody should be judged by their looks. I don't think anybody should be judged by their looks. The entertainment industry deserves a lot of accolades. They do deserve a lot of accolades. And there are lots of employed people that's been employed from what? The entertainment industry. It is very wrong for anybody to be judged by their looks or to be stereotyped by their looks. Because I have gold hair on doesn't mean I'm dating a Yahoo boy. And automatically I am a Yahoo girl. Because I have a laptop doesn't make me armed. I'm not armed by having a laptop. This is the technology we're in. Everybody has an iPhone now. Everybody has a laptop now. So you don't stereotype it. Because I have an iPhone, I'm automatically a fraudster. That's wrong. You don't judge people by their looks. You judge them by their character. It is very, very wrong for the youths to be profiled because of how they dress, because of their dreadlocks, because of their phones, because of their laptops. Fam, nah.
And there's people who say, okay, I mean, SARS is supposed to be fighting cybercrime, which is not their designation, by the way. They're meant to fight armed robbery. But so Yahoo is a problem, you know, cybercrime is a problem. A lot of young people are involved in this, and they're actually doing some good to get that out of the way. What happens to that fight?
SARS, Special Anti-Robbery Squad. It has nothing to do with cyber. It has nothing to do with you stopping me on the way to search my phone, telling me unlock my phone. With so much authority. Unlock my phone. You don't even have a name tag. What is your name? And then I don't have the right to ask you questions, but then you have the right to dish out instructions and I have to obey it. Why?
And what about armed robbery? Because, I mean, we have a unit who's supposed to fight armed robbery. There's a special unit for armed robbery. Are you worried about a rise in crime as a result of this disbandment now?
I'm more worried about the SARS officials on the road. And that's why I said earlier that this dissolvement doesn't seem right to me. SARS got banned last week over Twitter. I went out to peacefully protest and I saw SARS officials on the road. It just doesn't seem...
they were told to leave the streets.
Yes. And I saw SARS officials on the road harassing an individual. It really doesn't seem right. They're being recruited into what department? We're saying reform the police force. Fine, SARS has been dissolved. And they're being recruited into what department?
Yeah.
Really, or into what unit, really?
Well, to be fair to the police, the Inspector General of Police, he did talk about the reforms and how stakeholders were going to be invited. I said a stakeholders forum will be launched to provide an avenue for citizens to regularly interface and advise the police authority on issues touching on the general public. You're laughing at that. Why are you laughing? You don't believe that? I
don't believe it. It's still the same Nigeria. This SARS issue has been on since 2017, like you said.
Yes.
And like I know. And in 2020, it's been dissolved. How many years later?
Yeah.
So when is this reform police force coming? How soon? When you say very soon, that's indefinite. How soon? Is it tomorrow? Is it this week? Is it next week? Is it 2030? When?
Yeah. I mean, so many more images. Abuja in particular, there was tear gas, there was water cannon sprayed at protesters. Peaceful protesters, we need to point out. Peaceful protesters, yes.
Unarmed protesters.
And these are some of the things I believe a lot of people are very, passionate about or angry about, saying if people are coming out to protest peacefully, why not let them protest if they are not attacking anybody?
We have just our voices and our placards.
So, but this reforms looks like it's going to be, it's a long-term solution. You don't reform an organization like the police force in one day. Do you think people are going to be patient enough? Because it's going to be a long journey. This is an organization that's existed like this for at least 60 years, whether we like it or not. And this reform conversation is going to be a long one. How much time do you think people are willing to give, considering how much passion there is now?
Well, like I said, our tired is tired. So whatever you're doing, get on with it already, because our tired is tired. We took it out to the streets peacefully.
Yeah.
We're not relenting.
What do you want to see from government as we wrap this up? What do you want to see from governments?
What the youth...
Do you want the president to speak to you?
What everybody wants to see from the government. Reform the police force. We need our police officers well taken care of.
And justice.
Yes, because you can't be hungry and you're on the streets. You would not be happy when you see me looking all dressed or looking rich. That arm of government needs to be reformed. Basically, we'll come into other social amenities not being met later.
A long list.
Accountability later, but for now, this is all what we are on about.
So you're not relenting in spite of the disbandment?
I'll be watching. I'll be watching to see how this reform police force, how it's going to come true. I'll be watching.
Yeah.
Really.
Because there's people who have said,
I'll be watching,
this is not, like you said, this is not the first time we're hearing of a disbandment of... what will it take? Does it take the president saying it himself? Because this is the Inspector General of Police who has spoken to us.
If it means him coming to address us, you come to address us when you need our votes. So why not now? You address us when you need our votes. And this is the youth saying, if you have to address us, then you should address us. Yeah. You should.
Well, thank you very much, Natasha Akide, for joining us today. Hopefully, this is one step in so many that we need to be talking about, and it's gladdening news that this has happened, and of course, sad that a lot of lives have been lost as a result. Once again, rest in peace to Jimoh Ishiak, who lost his life as a result of this. We're going to take a break now and be right back. Please don't go away.